Hey, this is Stephen Ament. Welcome to my Exorcism.io series. And in this video, I will be picking up the refactoring of the matrix exercise from the Ruby track, picking up where I left off at the end of part 1. So as always, I'm going to step back and ask if this is good enough. Is it clear enough here what's happening? Am I doing too many things right here? Maybe. What kind of refactoring might I do here? Well, I might name these pieces. So I have string. The first thing I'm doing is I'm forcing whatever I was passed to a string. And really what I want to do is I want to parse that string. I want to parse rows from that string, which right now, let's make this private. Parse rows, which takes a string, takes a matrix string and returns exactly what we had. This should stay green. Hello. Good job. Okay. And so to parse the rows means to split our matrix on the new lines. Okay, that's clear enough. But then for each row, we map over it, and we want to do all of this in here. Well, this is actually could be called something like parse row, which also takes a row as a string and does this stuff to it. Okay, that still passes, and that's happy. This is very similar to what the code we have above, right? So to parse a single row means to split it, which will just split it on white space, and then map each element to an integer. Here, to parse the rows means to split it on new lines, and then to map each element to parse row, to whatever parse row returns. Is this more readable? Is this easier to understand? Is it easier to maintain? Yeah, maybe giving those things names is what we needed to do. I think it's helpful. What about the question of these things being private methods here? I think it's probably fair right now in this case. It's not too big of a risk to leave us here like this. They should not really be part of the surface area of this class in terms of the API that this class exposes. There's sort of helper methods here, but something that's always echoed in my head that Chad Fowler said on Twitter one time is something to the effect of private methods in your class indicate that there's another object crying to get out, that's screaming to get out. Yeah, so what would that be? Could it be a matrix parser object or something like that? Yeah, that's possible. That instead of all this, maybe there's a matrix parser class. Is that overkill in this case rather than these being private here? I don't know. If one of the principles of object-oriented design is the single responsibility principle, in which you want your class or your method or whatever it is to do one thing, right? And not to do several things. In this case, the matrix class is really a model representing the matrix as rows and columns. That you can ask for the rows, you can ask for the columns. Is the job of parsing a string into those rows and columns, is that really a function of the matrix class itself, or should it be a property of maybe a matrix parser class? I don't know, it might be. let's just see what that would look like. In this case, it might be, I might replace that line with something like this. Matrix parser new, handing it matrix, and then asking for rows. Parse rows. Rows. You know, I don't know. Is that better? So in this case, this could become class matrix parser. Takes a matrix. Let's validate that that's a string there. I'm going to move these up. I'm a little farther away from green than I would like to be at the moment, but rows is going to be matrix split. Okay, let's just see if that works. Yeah, that works. Here it's actually a private class inside of matrix. I don't know. What do you think about this? I think it's not bad. Could be a little bit of overkill, a little bit of over-engineering. I don't know. I like that I have a class sort of doing each part, that it's not the matrix model itself that's doing the parsing. It's a matrix parser class that's actually converting that string into the rows. I don't know. Let's submit this one. Let's go check it out. So I should have my 2 iterations here. The first one, the second one. Yeah, let's go ahead and complete this and move on to the next exercise.